And we're here once again, only on It's After Hours, only on Full Swap Radio. And join me here on location, this young lady here. Well, if you want to talk about growth, she's grown bigger in her size. That's not saying much, but she has a heart big of gold. She is a business entrepreneur. And well, everybody and anybody wants to work with her in the industry. As I give you the sexy, the beautiful, and the brave, I give you Isabella Nice. So, Isabella, let's start off here with you and I have talked for about now a year. We're trying to get this together. And since then, you've gone through this sort of personal journey. So, for those who don't know, what has been the personal journey that you've undergone? And how tough is it sometimes doing something that most people think, oh, that's easy? Hey, go to parties, talk in public, do all this. And it's like, no, that's not as easy as people think it is here.
Yeah, no. The adult industry definitely isn't as easy as a lot of people like to think. There's a lot more that goes into it. You have to be in charge of your finances, you have to be in charge of your bookings. So a lot more goes into it than just basically showing up on set and getting paid. There's a lot of like research and I don't know, just like everything, practice kind of makes perfect. So over time, you become more familiar on set, you become more familiar with your coworkers, and so you just kind of grow in the industry the more you're in it, if that makes sense. So it's not really just like a one-time thing. You get paid and become like famous type of stuff. There's a lot more that people don't really pay attention to.
So I'll start with you here. How much work goes into what you do itself for your business? OnlyFans, if you still have it, loyal fans, mini vids, your website. When, as you said, you're not just a performer, you're also a quote unquote camera lady. You are your own makeup artist. Sometimes you're a talent coordinator. You're also
Mhm.
going to be your own, publicist at times. Like, how many hats do you wear just so that you can make this business profitable?
You have to wear a lot of hats. I mean, you don't have to, but I prefer to just because I don't like putting my eggs in all like one basket. I'm gonna actually move this ring light a little bit because it's blinding me right now. My cat was knocking it over earlier, so I've been adjusting it for the past like 10 minutes. Okay, there we go. Um, so yeah, I have been in the adult industry for almost like a little over 6 years. I started as a legal courtesan, and I still am a legal courtesan. So that itself comes with a lot of different things that you have to do. So you have to get your license to even work. You have to pay taxes. You have to schedule out appointments. You have to keep up on emails. And that's just kind of the business side of things, let alone keeping, your hygiene on point, making sure your nails are done, making sure your skincare is correct. So that's just one of the jobs I have that like has a lot of different things that you have to do to maintain it. I mean, just to make a profit, if that makes sense.
So why legal courtesan? Why was that something, or courtesan? Why did you want to do that? And what does that entail? Because most people think, oh, so it's just basically like an escort. It's like, no, no, no. There's a lot more to that. There's a lot more nuance. So for you, what does that entail? And how tough is that, basically doing what most people have trouble doing, which is relating to people?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Vegas, so growing up in Vegas, you see a lot of illegal activity and stuff that shouldn't be going on. And I was always curious about that kind of work, but I know I didn't want to do it in a way that was unsafe. Um, and I like giving companionship and spending time with people and just making people feel important and know that they're valued. So I like doing that for a job, but I didn't want to do it unsafe circumstances. So that's kind of why I work at a legal ranch. So that's kind of why I ended up where I ended up.
So what are the challenges of being, because as you said, it's all these people in this ranch, and all these, you're trying to stand out, and there's a lot of people sometimes you're competing with. So how does that work? And how do you, for you, how do you learn how to read people to go, okay, this person I might want to interact with for as a client, this person, he's giving out the vibes that this might be pretty bad here. I don't want to deal with, like, how much has this helped you like read people right off the bat? Like, okay, This is how I can tell if somebody's good or somebody's just
I
a
think you
rotten
can
egg.
pick up on the energy of someone. For the most part, I'd say like 98% of my experiences have been nothing but positive experiences. I've had people be like, I haven't had like that close of intimacy in however many years, and I'm able to provide that for them or make that happen. And next thing you know, they're emailing me that they went on a date or that they feel like a new person just with their confidence boost after I saw them. So, um, yeah, I mean, you can kind of feel the energy as soon as someone walks in the room. Um, and it's nice because I'm in a position now where I don't have to accept all work. I can pick and choose. And if I don't feel comfortable with someone, I can say no, even if they offer me the world. It's my room, it's how comfortable I feel with them. And I love doing this job. So I'm not going to try to let someone who has a negative attitude towards this job ruin it for me.
We're gonna switch topics to something different here, and that is once going back to your OnlyFans stuff. You do all this stuff here. Like, how much time do you put into in terms of creating stuff? Because after a while, there's only so many things people can see of a boy, girl, girl, girl. Huh? Maybe we'll bring a threesome, and you're trying to always sell people. So, what do you do so that you can entice people, even if some days you just don't want to have sex? Like, what are some of the things you do to basically get people to keep following you for content? What are some of the wilder things you've done for content?
I think people do follow me just because I am authentic. And I also already have a fan base that's built up, not just from adult film, but from my client list. So my fans kind of follow me, just they want to know how I am, what I'm doing, what projects, and that's kind of what I use my OnlyFans for. I know more of the girls today are using OnlyFans for, I don't know, that's their main line of work, and they're just trying to post thirst traps, which is totally a-okay. I mean, like, go for it. That's just personally not my style. I like to be a little more authentic with it, and people seem to like that as well. And that's how I keep my fans that always return. So,
What's some more creative stuff you've done, though? Because it doesn't have to be sex, just like something you're like, oh, you know what? I might do this, whether it's a calendar, whether you're doing a shower thing, but hey, or even people can watch you. Hey, this is what I'm doing today. I'm cooking dinner in my little, nurse stuff. Like, where's some of the things for you that are going, you know what? I can do this here. I don't have to worry about getting tested. I don't have to worry about sex. It's just something where it's like cute and you're going, hey, people might want to see this and I can actually sell this for quote unquote content.
yeah, I mean, again, I'm not just doing this so I can make a buck or two. I went to college, I could get a job that I make whatever at, but I like to make content that I mean resonates with people. I like to shoot a lot of stuff when I'm up behind the scenes on stuff. Just little snippets of me in the morning, kind of me dancing to music that I like. Just kind of everyday little things that I think can put a smile on people's faces, and then they're intrigued. And you know what? Hey, I want to have a personal connection with this girl, and that's kind of what happens. So I'm not too big on, like the nurse's outfit. I like doing videos and that kind of stuff, but I don't dress up every day and do 20 million clips a day. That's not kind of what my life is. I like to show more of my authentic life. So it's like I will have, I'll show stuff with my boyfriend or that kind of thing. So it's just showing my, my everyday life. I don't like to pretend to be something I'm not. So
Now, the boyfriend, he works in the industry. As what we talked about, like, what is his exact role, and how much does that help having somebody who understands the industry, so that when you're going, babe, I've had a long day, he go, I understand what you're talking about. I know exactly, in some ways, like what you've gone through.
yeah, no, he's a great guy, and I'm so glad that I have him in my life. I He understands that, being on set isn't all glamorous. It's not just you looking pretty all the time. It's a lot being patient, waiting for someone to do something. It's you're getting sweaty, it's hot. Like he knows that it's not all glamorous, so it's nice that he is aware of what goes on at work. A lot of couples, I guess, can't really say that towards each other. I know what goes on his set. I've been on his set before, and he knows how I am on set because he's directed sets that I've been on before. So, um, I think it's a cool thing that both of us are in this industry, and we kind of see it as more, I don't know, just we are working at this job that we both do, and we respect it.
Well, I've seen more recently where we've seen a lot of performers, guys, girls, and other transgenders here. It's the mental health. How do you
Hmm.
handle that? Especially because it's
Sorry,
tough to
what was
open
that?
up about stuff. Hey, I'm depressed. Hey, I'm facing anxiety. Hey, I'm facing like whether it's family stuff and everything, and you always have to put that smile on the face. So for you, how do you deal with it? And how tough is it sometimes going through everything that most normal people go through, which is just mental health days?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, being in this industry has actually helped me in the weirdest of ways, just because I do have that time and income where I can make sure that mental health for me is a priority. I've always kind of struggled with it. It's not just been since I entered the industry. I had family members who were in sex work actually, and they ended up going through the wrong direction. They weren't taking care of their mental health. And to see that gives me a whole different perspective about how I treat my mental health while I'm working and stuff. And also, I know social media plays a huge part into kind of how, I don't know, how we feel. And then it does have an effect, I think, on a lot of our mental health. We can let it I mean, it's easier said than done to be like, oh, it doesn't affect me, but I think it can definitely affect you if you're constantly having to go on Twitter and you constantly see photos that are edited. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not realistic. So you kind of start having, uh, you're like, oh, that's what pretty is. So I'm probably not that pretty of what I see on this Instagram photo, but it's filtered, it's whatever. So you kind of really have to like constantly give yourself a reality check so you don't spiral out. That was like kind of sorry, I like babble. I just started to talk and talk and talk. But
No, no, and I'm glad you bring that up because I know, and if you don't mind me asking here, because you and I talked about this, one of the things I know you're proud about is getting more comfortable with talking, going out to to events, going out to large conventions. Which there's people in the regular world who they can't do that. If they'll be in a crowd, like, no, I gotta get out of here. I need personal space, personal space. I'm
yeah.
claustrophobic, or they'll be talking to a stranger. It's like, oh, I'm freaking out. What are you thinking here? How tough was that to deal with and also open up to people? Because they'll go, wait a minute, you get naked on camera. Why should you be nervous about being in a convention with clothes and talking to people? This doesn't make sense. And you're like, no, if you really know what's going on, it makes perfect sense.
Right. Yeah, no, it's even logging onto this, I was kind of nervous a little bit before, even though I knew there was nothing to be nervous about. I have always just kind of suffered with social anxiety. But I mean, I do love being intimate with people and getting to know people and all of that. So, um, my job has actually been pretty good outlet for kind of forcing myself to be in situations where I have to be uncomfortable. I know with this industry comes a lot of events and stuff, and so I end up going and I push myself, a little more every time, and I get more and more comfortable. But yeah, it's funny because you'd think that I would not have social anxiety at all being a performer. Um, but being on set, I think everyone knows that they're in a professional setting. And I mean, everyone has sex. We know what we're doing. And if you're all collaborative and no one's a weirdo, hopefully, on set. Everyone kind of collabs together and you use it as a productive workspace and get a good scene out of it. So it's versus you're going to, say, a social gathering, you don't know what people are saying, what people are thinking. You are not in a work situation where you can be like, okay, I know I have to do X, Y, and Z. You're just coming up on the spot trying to say stuff. So it's a bit different being in, being at events versus being at work.
You hear this all the time. Oh, there's nothing to be nervous about.
Huh?
Just get over it
No,
here.
it's so weird not seeing you on the other screen because I'm like, the ring light on the side is kind of blinding me, and my room is so pink, and I'm like, oh, I don't know where to look. So,
But I mean, when you talk about social anxiety, how tough was that just addressing that with people? Because and I know you gave me a great explanation, but for those who don't get it, it's like people say to you, "Oh, just get over it," and it's like, no, it's just it's like depression, it's like anxiety. There is no like one stop thing that's like, oh, I'll take it, I'm done, I'm cured. This is something where you're working through it. So for you, how much pride do you take of how far you've come? Because I know when we first talked, you was like, all right, this is gonna be a struggle. I'm not sure if I can do it now. I'm seeing you on red carpets. I'm seeing you at these parties, and it seems
Yeah.
like you're getting used to it now. Even though I know inside it's like a duck underwater. It's like everything's calm on the front, the legs underneath the water are just going.
Yeah, exactly. I think having a good support system and just uh I mean, support system is definitely an important part of it. So texting my girlfriends, hey, I'm feeling this way, I'm going to this event, and like, can you come with me? Or just like, I'm gonna text you if I need to text you, or even my significant other, having it just letting him know how I feel, and he's like, okay, you want to go in the corner and like chill out for a bit. That's always nice. But yeah, I my first couple of years, I would have a panic attack and just Uber home right away. But now I'm kind of forcing myself to stay longer at events, and so that's getting better. But it's always been hard for me. I have been good talking to people one on one. It's when I get in crowds, I get super overwhelmed, and that's been a thing for me, honestly, since as long as I can remember. So
With that, and I'm guessing because you can even help other people here. How did you get over that? Especially for someone like you who's very tiny. You're this petite little thing here, and as I said, it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, crap, I'm like a sardine. I'm getting crowded here, and you can't just
yeah.
start throwing elbows at people like, hey, get out of the way. I'm getting out of here. Like, how do you just in that moment where all of a sudden, and I've been in that shoes where a couple people you're talking, and all of a sudden there's more people come in, more people come in. It's like inside, it's the chest is pumping. How did you deal with it? Now, what are the tricks that you've learned to calm yourself, even when there's that bigger crowd? You don't want to just start.
Right. I've kind of learned over time what calms me down, whether it be smells, like I'll keep a nice smelling sanitizer in my purse or clutch. Having like mints, so something I can like focus on what it tastes like, or chewing, or like a sour candy is always really good. I just kind of different techniques that I use to ground myself. Grounding is a big thing that I've been working on. So that way I could kind of like find my footing before I start getting so anxious. I've noticed if I can kind of ground myself, I don't spiral. So I'm just kind of working on that constantly. And I know I can be on set and I do whatever and I love my job. So I kind of remember that. I'm like, okay, if I can handle what I do at work and I've done this and I've proven myself time and time over again that I am capable, then why let this anxiety win this night? So it's constantly just, I think, a battle that you have, and you have to keep telling yourself, and it's something you have to work at. It's not going to be just like you tell yourself one day, hey, I'm better, and you're better. It's something that you have to work on like almost every single hour of every single day. So um and I know too, I just want to put it on, be someone who can get through these situations, so that way if someone else finds themselves anxious or whatever, I can help them in the future too.
What do you do for fun? That's the question that everybody always asks. And it sounds so simple, but for you, what do you do? What does Isabella do for fun? Because everybody thinks, oh yeah, just having sex. It's like, no, that's a job. So what do you
Right.
do for fun when it's like, all right, I just need a day off. I need to zen out. I need to get away. What do you do for fun, just for fun?
I love the outdoors and hiking. So I live right near a hiking trail, so I do that a lot. I've taught my cats how to go hiking with me, so I train them to do that. I have been closer with my family actually recently, so I try to talk to them, hang out with them. I'm currently just looking at different, I don't know, different, not streams of income, but different things that I'm interested in to continue on with, like my job in social media. I know I already do adult film, but I'm kind of branching out and seeing what other things draw my interest. Right now, I have a travel channel too that I started last year, so I'm working on that. um, so I love traveling. I like hot Pilates, yoga, um, interior design. So I'm kind of all over the place in terms of like hobbies.
all this is going on, as you mentioned, with you. And as I said, the challenge is always finding ways at times to balance all this. And
Hmm.
thankfully, you, as you said, your boyfriend's in the industry, so he gets it. But how tough is it for family to even this day understand? Like, no, look, mom, I can't hang out today. I got, I'm on my phone. We got to do all this stuff. I got computer stuff. You got to tell friends sometimes, hey, I got canceled this weekend. I got a photo shoot. I got to go to the gym. I got to go to a business meeting. And of
Yeah.
course, the favorite you've heard is put the phone down. We're having drinks. We're having
Right.
dinner. Put the phone down. It's like, no, no, no. I am texting, tweeting something. I'm uploading something here. This is a baby. Baby needs to be fed 24/7 here. I can't not feed the baby.
Yeah, I don't know for me if necessarily the last part of that is true. I think everyone kind of is responsible for how they prioritize their time. I haven't always been the best at prioritizing my time, especially when I was younger in this industry, but I'm learning more and more as I get older what's important in life and what really matters to me, and trying to focus more time and energy on whatever that is, whether that be family, my significant other, my health, cats. Like, I try to really focus in on whatever moment I'm in. So if I'm going to work, I'm going to be working and focusing purely on that. If I choose that I'm going to spend time with my family, I'm going to fully put my attention to that. I'm very big on being present in the moment. And that's why I do this job as well, because it allows me to have that time and space to be present in those, moments in life that are so important.
I know you mentioned before you are working at as contestant at the ranch. Of course, you have your own stuff here, and you're all over the place. Whether it's from dog fart, you sometimes working for Brazzers, for Bank Bros. What's on, let's say, the horizon? Because we are now in 2024, so I'm guessing you are going, all right, well, there's going to be X-Biz. I want to go to that. Definitely want to go to maybe an Exotica. Like, how far in advance now are you starting to plan? Like, all right, this is the summer plans. This is the winter plans. Like, how much are you going? All right, this is going to be
uh,
my travel schedule.
I actually do kind of like months in advance. I get booked up pretty fast at where I work, so I have to answer so many emails and kind of pick and choose who I'm going to see and how I'm going to schedule it out. And then I have to let my agents kind of know. So I definitely say maybe like 2 months ahead, maybe 3 months all the time. I schedule my plans out. So I kind of stick to it. And then that's why I do prioritize my time, because if I'm working, the time that I'm off, I really want to be able to, enjoy that time before I put my all into, being on set. I'm not going to give my performer half. So, uh, I have to make sure that I'm fully present and there. And that means making sure I treat myself good on the days that I have off. So, yeah, I'd say definitely you have to be good at planning if you want longevity in this career.
So, how long do you want to be in this career? Because there's some people I know like, oh, I'm going to be in there as long as possible. But there's others like, all right, I'm going to be here till I'm 32, but I'm getting the hell out. I'm going to do this or this year. You don't have to tell me how old, but I mean, is there for you, are like going, all right, this is the long term plan. This is what I see myself doing down the line instead of just being, in the industry itself. Like, hey, maybe I might go into music. Maybe I might do real estate. Like for you, how much are you starting to think, okay, when I'm ready, this will be my next career?
Yeah, I mean, don't you see my shirt? No, I'm just kidding. So I'd say, I don't know, kind of, I see myself doing this for a while. I love what I do. I want to also pursue other things along with performing. So I can't really put a time on it. I think whenever I feel like I am just done with performing, that's when I'll say I'm done with performing. I can't give an exact time, but right now I really enjoy it. I love being on set. I look forward to it. And I want to do a lot of other things within this industry too. I'd love to start a nonprofit. I'd love to be on the side of things where I can help other women, just because I've been in this so long and I've had trials and tribulations that I'm sure other women are going through this very moment. So if I can help one person not go through a bad experience and really make the most out of their career, then I would love to do that. So that's kind of what I want to do next with being in the adult industry. I also love to pole dance, and a dream of mine has been always to open a dance studio. So I'd love to do like a pole/yoga dance studio and definitely cater to sex workers. So
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are proud to have on the show. I give you the talented, the brave, the bold, and the sexy. I give you Isabella Nice. So, Isabella, where can fans check you out at? Where is the X, the Instagram, the loyal fans, the many vids, the OnlyFans, the website? Like, where can fans hit you up at?
So, I do have an OF. That's gonna be lingerie and latte days, and that's gonna be in my Twitter bio if you need the link. Definitely follow me on my social media accounts. So my Instagram name is at it's Isabella Nice, and that's the same username for my Twitter. I'm thinking something else. Um, yeah, and that's kind of what I have going on right now. Just kind of uh, just three different little platforms, but I do plan on expanding to a blog soon, and hopefully a website. So keep a lookout for that.
Isabella Nice, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always an honor and pleasure having you on the show. We come back. We got a lot more going on here. Only on It Is After Hours, only on Full Swap Radio.